You think you know elephants, right? Big, majestic. But what if I told you their society has hidden roles, ancient wisdom, and a social structure so complex it'll blow your mind? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secret civilization of elephants.
Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. You see a bunch of elephants together. What's the first word that pops into your head? For most of us, it's herd, right? But honestly, that word, it doesn't even begin to tell the real story.
Yeah, because what you're actually seeing isn't just a random group of animals. It's a sophisticated society. It's got layers, it's built on deep relationships, incredible memory, and knowledge passed down for ages. I mean, you could really call it a civilization.
So, if we're going to understand this whole civilization, we have to start where it all begins the family.
All right, so the absolute bedrock of their world is the family. And get this, it's a completely female-led society. We're talking about a super tight-knit group of mothers, daughters, sisters, you name it. The young males, they take off around puberty. But the females, they stick around for their entire lives. And who's in charge? The matriarch. She's the oldest, the wisest, and her experience is basically the glue that holds the whole thing together. And life inside this family unit is just incredibly social. I mean, they do everything together, traveling, eating, even sleeping. They've got these amazing, complex greeting ceremonies for when they meet up after being apart for a while. Teamwork is just second nature, especially when it comes to raising the little ones or fending off predators.
But okay, that family unit, that's just level one. Let's zoom out a bit, because you'll see that these families are all part of a much bigger, more intricate social web.
Here's an easy way to think about it. The family unit, that's like your immediate household. Then you've got a bigger circle, kind of like a huge extended family reunion. And then the biggest layer is like everyone from your ancestral hometown. See, each level builds on the last, and each has its own special role. So here's how it's structured. You have three main tiers. Tier 1, the family. That's the core we talked about. Tier 2, the bond group. This is where a few related families hang out together pretty regularly. And finally, Tier 3, the clan. That's a whole bunch of bond groups that all share the same essential resources, like the only water source for miles during the dry season. It's this amazing, layered social safety net.
So you might be asking, how on earth do they manage these huge groups? Well, they do it with something called fission-fusion dynamics. I know, it sounds super scientific, but the idea is actually pretty simple. They split up, that's the fission, into smaller groups to go find food. And then they come back together, that's the fusion, to hang out, socialize, and share what they've learned. It's genius, really. They get the flexibility of small groups and the stability of a large one.
Okay, so how does a society this big and complex actually work? What are the rules? Well, it all comes down to power, wisdom, and teamwork. And let me tell you, it's probably not what you're thinking.
You know, in a lot of the animal kingdom, the leader is the biggest, toughest one in the group. But not here. With elephants, leadership isn't about brute strength. It's about knowledge. It's earned over decades of experience. The single most valuable thing an elephant possesses? It's their memory.
And scientists actually put this to the test in this really cool experiment. So what they did was they played recordings of lion roars for different elephant families. Now, some roars were from just one male lion, a threat, but a manageable one. But other recordings, they were of a whole group of lionesses on the hunt, a way more dangerous situation. And the results? They were just wow. The families that reacted perfectly, the ones who knew exactly when to circle the wagons and when it was okay to chill out, they all had one thing in common. They were led by matriarchs who were over 60 years old. Think about that. It's just incredible. It proves that it's that deep well of knowledge, remembering every close call, understanding every single threat. That's the most critical thing for the family's survival. That kind of wisdom, you just can't put a price on it.
So, okay, we've established the matriarch's wisdom is absolutely crucial. But what about succession? Does that power just get handed down? Is her oldest daughter automatically the heir apparent?
And this is where it gets really interesting. The answer is no. It's not like a monarchy. Sure, who you're related to determines who's in your family, but it does not decide your rank. Just because your mom is the matriarch, that doesn't make you a princess. You have to earn your status. It makes their societies surprisingly fair and, well, egalitarian.
And that spirit of fairness, it shows up everywhere, especially in their powerful instinct to help each other out.
There's this thing called allomothering, which basically means everyone helps raise the babies. It's a group effort. They've been seen helping injured friends, getting stuck elephants out of the mud, and of course, forming those classic defensive circles around the calves. Cooperation isn't just something they do. It's baked into their very being. So, you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, and what you get is this incredible social fabric. It's unbelievably strong, but it's also flexible and super resilient. So let's recap. What makes it all work? First, you've got these powerful female-led families at the core. Second, it's multi-layered. You've got families, bond groups, and clans all working together. Third, leadership is all about experience and wisdom, not who your mom is. And finally, it's all held together by this deep, fundamental need to cooperate and help each other. It's an amazing system.
But here's the real kicker, the most important takeaway of all. This isn't just instinct, this is culture. A real, living culture that's built on social learning, on memory, and on critical knowledge being passed down from the oldest and wisest to the youngest generation.
And that brings us to a final, and honestly, a pretty urgent question. If their greatest strength is this cultural knowledge, this library of experience held in the minds of their elders, what happens when we take those elders away? What happens to a civilization when you burn down its library?